I've got a fun little computational exercise in linear algebra that should be interesting for advanced students and also beginners. It's basically we're looking at the vector space of all polynomials of degree at most 4. Okay, so all polynomials of degree at most 4 you can express as a0 plus a1x plus a2x squared plus a3x cubed plus a4x to the 4, where all the coefficients are real numbers. And it's important to note that it's not a vector space if you say polynomials of degree 4, because then of course 0 is not even in the space. Okay, so that's not a vector space. It has to be degree at most 4, and we have a subspace of this vector space. All of those polynomials, so the integral from -1 to 1 of the polynomial is 0. Okay, that's a subspace. You can check that. That's an exercise that if you add two polynomials, the integral is 0. The integral is again 0. If you scale a polynomial, its integral is 0. It's again 0. And of course, the 0 polynomial has the integral of 0. A question is find a basis for the subspace, which is a vector space, and extend the basis that we find in part A to a basis of the entire vector space of polynomials of degree at most 4. And this is an exercise I saw in Axler's book, Linear Algebra Done Right. It's an amazing book. It's one of my favorite books in mathematics of all levels. Very, very beautiful book, highly recommended, and it's free online on his website. So check it out. So we're going to actually break it down and study this problem. Number one, finding a basis for this vector space U is just going to be, first we have to see what linear condition this imposes on U. Okay, so if you like, this is the kernel. U is the kernel of a linear transformation from P4 of R to R given by the integral operator. Okay, another fancy way of saying that. So we need to figure out what linear conditions this imposes. So when we write out this integral, let's just do that. We're writing the integral from -1 to 1 of this combination, right? So I'm just going to write it out. That's the combination. We want to show that integral is equal to 0, or we want to understand what condition that puts on the coefficients a0 through a4. And so let's just actually write out that integral. This is just standard calculus. We take the antiderivative. All right, so that's the antiderivative, just using integration laws, and we're looking at the limits of -1 to 1. So let's actually work out what happens. You can actually just plug in x equals 1 and then subtract off what happens when you plug in x equals -1. So that's the term we get when you plug in x equals 1. Now we subtract what you get when you plug in x equals -1. All right, so I plugged in x equals -1 on the bottom, and as you can see, this is a very important point, just intuitively without doing any integration, is functions like x cubed, they're odd functions, so the integral from -1 to 1 is going to be 0. Okay, that's number one. They have an odd symmetry. F of -x is minus f of x. So you also see this here when you do the cancellation. The a1 over 2 and the a1 over 2 cancel because you're subtracting, and the a3 over 4 and the a3 over 4 also cancel. So what happens is every other term, it's an even function, right? 1 x squared and x to the 4 even functions. So the integral from -1 to 1 is twice the integral from 0 to 1, and that's reflected when you actually evaluate this out. So you get 2a0 plus 2a2 over 3 plus 2a4 over 5. Okay, so that's what we get. And so that's the condition. We want this combination to equal to 0. That's what's characterizing our subspace, and now we need to use that to find a basis. So that's going to be a lot of fun, just fun linear algebra. Let's get into that. All right, so let's get into that. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. It really makes a huge difference, and I'm doing math, computational, theoretical, proof-based, all topics and levels in math. You can check out all the topics on my channel homepage. You can click the playlist tab or the courses tab to see everything organized and really take a deep dive through lots of fun math topics. Check out the popular videos on my channel. I've got everything on my channel, and I'm a professional mathematician. So let's now look at what that condition imposes. So the condition is that 2a0 plus 2a2 over 3 plus 2a4 over 5 is equal to 0, right? That is our condition on our polynomial, which is specified by these coefficients a0 through a4. Now basically this is one linear condition on our vector space of all polynomials, so we expect to get a basis. Our vector space of polynomials of degree at most 4 is actually 5-dimensional because you have the constant polynomial. So basically this is going to give us a 4-dimensional vector space, and you can actually see the dimensions because if I expand this out, right, if I expand this out as 2a0 plus 2a2, I could even write it out, 2a0 plus 0a1 plus 2a2 over 3 plus 0a3 plus 2a4 over 5 equals 0. You see that in this equation, a3 and a1, they can be anything. They can be anything you like. The equation doesn't matter for the equation. So they are free variables. Okay, that's the terminology. And similarly, a2 and a4 are also going to be free variables. I'm underlining them in red. Once you know a2 and a4 though, you actually know a naught, right? Because this equation, basically, if you solve it, you get that a naught can be expressed in terms of the other variables, namely a naught is equal to minus a2 over 3 minus a4 over 5, okay, if I cancel out the 2's. So because of that, you know, our general solution, right, if you write our polynomials as column vectors, right, if you write it as column vectors, you're going to get that a naught, a1, a2, a3, a4. If you write it as column vector like this, you're going to expand it out, you're going to get the following. So we know that this is going to equal to the following. It's going to equal to, the top is going to be determined. So minus a2 over 3 minus a4 over 5. And the rest of the entries are just going to be a1, a2, a3, a4. So you can literally write this out as a linear combination of some vectors, okay? So you can write this out as the following. So I'm just going to put it out. A1 is going to be a1 times the vector, column vector 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. And here I'm encoding a polynomial by this, right? This is 0 plus 1x plus 0x squared plus 0x cubed plus 0x to the 4. So it's just x, but I'm just doing it in a convenient way. And similarly, you get the other terms, okay? You get that a2 is going to have the following. It's going to be minus 1 over 3. So I'm going to say minus 1 over 3 up top, 0, 1, 0, 0. That's going to be my a2 term. And I'm actually going to do it up top there because I'm going to run out of space. All right, so keep going here. So we're going to get a3 plus a3 times, you're going to have a3 times basically 0, 0, 0, 1. So I'm going to say 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so plus, okay, so we've got the last term. A4 is appearing up top as well. So we get plus a4 times the following, which is going to be minus 1/5 up top. So minus 1/5, 0, 0, 0, and then you're going to have a 1. Okay, so that's going to pick up the a4 here. So we've just expanded it out. So as you can see, you know, there are 4 parameters that are describing a element of u. Integral minus 1 to 1 of the polynomial is 0. So u is a 4-dimensional vector space as we expected. It's 1 codimension, codimension 1. That means that, you know, 1 less than the dimension of the whole vector space of all polynomials of degree at most 4. And you can now describe what these vectors are, you know, in terms of polynomial notation. So of course, this is going to be 0 plus 1x plus 0x squared plus 0x cubed plus 0x to the 4. So I'm just going to write that out. It's going to be x. Then you're just going to have minus 1/3 plus x squared. Okay, so I'm just picking up minus 1/3 plus x squared. And then you're just going to have x cubed there. Okay, that's going to be x cubed. So the vectors I'm illustrating are these. Okay, these I'm just writing them out as polynomials. And the last one is just going to be minus 1/5 plus x to the 4. Okay, minus 1/5 plus x to the 4. And that's our basis for u. Okay, and notice, of course, that these are odd polynomials. So their integral is 0 from minus 1 to 1. And you can check they're all in u. You know, maybe a fun exercise. That's our basis for u. And you may ask, why are these vectors linearly independent? Well, they're linearly independent because this is a general linear combination, right? And you look at the pivot ones, okay? The way we've done it, the pivot ones are very fundamental. If this linear combination were the 0 vector, then because the 5th coordinate is not getting picked up by any of the first 3 vectors, it can only get picked up by the last one. That implies a4 is 0. Similarly, then you can deduce a3 is 0, right? Because their 4th coordinate is only getting picked up in the 3rd vector. Then you can deduce a2 is 0. 3rd coordinates only get picked up in the 2nd vector, and finally a1 is 0. So if the linear combination is 0, all the coefficients have to be 0. So this is the basis for u. And then everything in u is a linear combination of them, as we've just kind of calculated. And then to extend this to a basis of all p4 of r, which is the second part of the problem, you can just add on, you can just throw in 1. Okay, so add the constant polynomial 1. And that's going to be, you know, in column notation, that's 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. And, you know, you can use the same argument to show that adding that vector to all of these has to also be a basis for all p4 of r, because you systematically say all these coefficients are 0 by looking at the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th components. And then the first component is therefore only picked up here. I mean, it's picked up by the 2nd and 4th vectors, but you know that these 2 coefficients has to be 0 because they're only picking up the 5th and 3rd entries. Okay, so you can deduce that this 1 and these polynomials is the basis. So it's a bit of a fun exercise. As I said, check out Axe's book. It's a very amazing book. And if you'd like to see me solve more problems from textbooks and more advanced math and topics, drop a comment down below. Huge thank you so much to Alex and Stefan for ongoing support on Patreon, and Stefan, Rob, Aman, Shabid, and Bernard for ongoing support as YouTube channel members. Every support counts, you know, even a small support. You can click the join button or the Patreon link in the description. I do everything on the channel on my own. I run it all, everything on my own, in addition to many other things. I'm a professional mathematician. And by having the support on my channel, I can really outsource a lot of work and create a massive production and just focus on the math instead of doing all the extra stuff like editing, thumbnails, etc. So please consider supporting by clicking on the join button or the Patreon link in the description. And I've got 2 fun videos for you. If you enjoyed this kind of linear algebra fun, the first video you're going to love is a proof that Gauss-Jordan elimination always works. Okay, it's a rigorous proof. If you want to see, like, for any matrix, you can always row reduce it to reduced row echelon form. Check it out, it's going to pop up on the screen. Based on my lectures at Princeton University, just like this problem where I received a university-wide faculty teaching award. And another fun video you're going to love, you can check it out here. It's an introduction to group theory. It's an arithmetic operation, and the operation is actually the following. I'll just write it out. A star B equals A plus B plus AB. It satisfies all the laws of a group, and you'll get introduced to groups in that video. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you later.